Coach, I've been asking all the different coaches just about coming together from different backgrounds and
Sure.
different experiences and just how it kind of all shapes together in the just how what it's like learning and working with them. For you, being able to kick things off with them or see what different coaches are like in that room, what's that like for you and maybe coaches that you've seen or worked with in the past versus guys that you're, working with for the first time?
Right. Well, first, I would like to say I'm pretty blessed to be here. On top of that, I think I've been blessed to be around a lot of great coaches in along my stops from everywhere, from back from Walsh University all the way to Ohio State, and then now here. The cool thing is some of these guys that I'm working with now, I've worked with before, like Vince Ogobasi, I work with at Ohio State, Sean Duggan, I work with at Ohio State, Coach Halfley at Ohio State, Phil Matus, Ohio State, but also some of these other coaches that I'm with now. They're connected to people I've coached with before. And so the cool thing, I think Coach Halfley has done an amazing job bringing in guys that have similar mindsets and similar ambitions, but also will gel together in a lot of different ways. And I think that if you saw how we interact together, I think that that's something that it's pretty cool to be able to see us work together, enjoy being around each other. And it's been really neat to see all the coaches from the different backgrounds, different ages, obviously all coming together, and we're all working towards the same common goal.
And for you, with special teams, it's I know it's more than just saying, all right, send the gunner down to cover a punt or to send the kicking coverage down or a return. What are some of the idiosyncrasies that maybe you have picked up through the fact the way the plays develop, what you try to look for
Yeah,
when the plays are developing?
sure. So I think the biggest thing is special teams is fundamentals of football. The big thing that we just talked about today as a staff and is there's a lot of things that you can take on offense and defense that all correlate. At the end of the day, the ball's kicked in special teams. It's just like the ball's snapped on offense and defense. And so there is the fundamentals of tackling, getting off blocks, blocking that are all going to be correlated on both sides of the ball. And so my job is to put all those fundamentals and techniques and bring all the units together and obviously work on the same language and work together in terms of being great fundamental techniques and fundamental players together. And the cool thing is I get to work with everybody, and I think that kind of ties everything together.
Last for me, just when you through your journey, your different stops, how have you picked up on different fundamentals, different things that you've applied as you've gone through the different levels of football?
Sure. I think that some of that has to do with buzzwords and techniques, because at the end of the game's still the same. And so sometimes for the players, the game happens fast. And so you want to really talk in sound bites. And so sometimes different places, make more sense to you. And maybe you've seen it taught a lot of different ways. And so I think that you take I've been to over 6 schools and coaching staffs. You take the best of what you think is the best way to teach something, and then you kind of bring it all together. And I think that I've been around a lot of great coaches. And I think if you knew my background and knew the people I've been around, you could walk into one of my meetings and you would be able to say, oh, that came from here and there. But I think that that's the game of football. And I think that's what made coaching really great. It's not just one way.
Coach, is the developing from a snapper to a holder to a kicker, is that one of the most precise things you have to work on in football?
Absolutely. It's an everyday thing. It's the technique, it's the timing, it's the operation, and the people that are doing that have to feel comfortable. And more importantly, and just like in any other sport, but especially football, when you have 11 guys working together, it's the trust that they have to develop between that operation. And it's something that doesn't happen overnight, but it's a constant thing. It's an everyday thing. And it does have to be precise in order to get the results that you want on a consistent basis. If something becomes off, then you're leaving it to chance and leaving it to out of routine. So it's just like waking up early in the morning. If all of a sudden you don't wake up early in the morning, your routine may be a little bit off. If the timing is off, if anything, then you're leaving it to something that you're not used to. And so I think it's something that is a consistent thing that you have to work on a daily basis.
It's kind of the holder like an unappreciated talent because, you got to snap it, spin the ball, I don't know, it just seems like it's not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not an easy thing to do. And also that person has to cater to not only the snapper, but he's got to cater to what the kicker likes in terms of with the ball placement, the trajectory, the exact angle. And so that it's not just as easy as just catching the ball, because it's also reaction skills, because you never know if there's a little snap here or there. They have to be able to adjust and then obviously get it down into the placement that the kicker would like and prefer.
Anything else for Matt?
Actually, a lot of times it's the quarterback that's doing the holding. Is that also an element of surprise that you can pull on a trick play?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, all that stuff is taken into account. But more importantly, if you're going to put a field goal team out or an extra point team out, you're going to want it to be the best comfort level for the kicker and the snapper. And I think that those decisions are going to be made by the best person for the job.
Coach, so often with special teams, at least to casual fans, you only really notice it when it goes wrong. Is that something that you like about your role? Is that something that, you wish special teams got the credit deserved? Or
I think that my goal, and you'll see, is I like to you'll feel when it's right, and you're going to see that it's right. And I think that that's the fun part about it, is celebrating the successes. And just like any given play on offense and defense, there's always something that could potentially go wrong. But the way I do things is I want to be the aggressor, and I want to be the person that makes something happen and not reactionary. And so I think that the whole mentality of what we're going into is going to be putting our best foot forward and trying to make plays than being worried about what's negative could happen.